I have no idea how they're going to clean this up. And yeah, this is huge.
On Sunrise, a bridge collapses in Corvallis, sending a freight train into the river, what may have led to the disaster. Plus,
yes, we are emergency, we are depressurized.
Exactly 1 year ago today, an Alaska Airlines door plug fell out of a plane mid-flight over Portland. This morning, we take a look at the changes made by Boeing to avoid another year like 2024. KGW News at Sunrise starts now. Good morning, and thanks for getting up with us as we kick off your Sunday. It is 6 a.m. I'm Libby Dowsett alongside Daisy Caballero.
Good morning, Libby.
I know. Can you believe it's been a year since Boeing?
No. And I remember that story when it happened, and all of us in the newsroom were like, "What is going on?" So yeah. Definitely looking forward to hear the update on that story. But in terms of an update for our weather, it was quite the rainy day yesterday. Portland saw a little over 0.6 of an inch of rain, and we may be seeing a little bit more of those lingering light showers. Of course, nothing like we saw yesterday morning. That is going to change as we're looking into tonight. I'll explain in my full forecast, but looking at our rain totals so far today, a few traces of rain here and there for the Portland Metro, for Vancouver, Hillsborough, 1/10 of an inch of rain for Troutdale, and a little bit of that rain as well for the Oregon coast, Hood River, and just a little bit for the Dalles. Currently right now, we're holding 51 degrees. It is currently cloudy. Winds coming out from the southwest at right about 6 miles an hour. The rest of our current temperatures right here, check it out. 50 degrees right now though in Sherwood, 46 down in Happy Valley, 48 for Sandy, 49 for Estacada, Kaiser, and 51 degrees for Salem. And here's your day at a glance. We may be seeing some light lingering showers for the morning. Will dry out, and then for tonight, we're expecting a brand new system to bring us more rain. We'll talk more about all of this coming up in my full forecast. Back to you.
Thank you, Dave.
I thought it was like a semi going by with a bunch of metal in the back of it. It was so loud, and then it happened again.
This morning, ecological concerns in Corvallis after a train trestle collapses, sending at least one train car carrying fertilizer into the river. The bridge collapsed around noon yesterday, derailing at least 3 cars. KGW's Devin Haskins shows us what happened.
In the dark, crews continue to assess the damage hours after a train trestle collapsed under the weight of a freight train.
So I was just sitting on my couch, and it sounded like it was right outside my window. I quickly looked through my window.
David Livingston lives nearby and ran outside to see what it was. He wasn't alone.
I came over here, and there was people standing around. The sheriff came by to look at it, take videos, and it's just a huge mess.
The train belonged to Portland and Western Railroad. Spokesperson says 19 cars of a freight train were crossing the river when it fell into the water around noon on Saturday. One of the cars, that was seen almost completely submerged, was carrying urea, a water-soluble nitrogen-based fertilizer. 2 other train cars could be seen dangling on the edge of the Marys River.
I have no idea how they're going to clean this up. And yeah, this is huge.
Also in the river, portions of the Trestle Bridge covered in burn marks from a fire in 2022. Investigators at the time determined the fire was human-caused in an accident. And it was so hot at the time it warped the train tracks. This photo posted by Corvallis Fire.
Seems like we all knew that the bridge was on fire a couple years ago. Didn't seem like it was sound structurally, and I guess that's a lot of weight to put on a old crickety bridge.
A Corvallis police officer and others living nearby tell KGW that trains continued to run across the bridge after the fire. Now all that's left are remnants of a bridge and a huge mess of train cars left to clean up.
Devin Haskins, KGW News.
An environmental cleanup crew was called in to help contain fertilizer that may have spilled into the river, although at this time it's unclear how much that could be. We also tried to talk to the train company about the bridge's inspection records, but our calls and emails were not returned. We have an update on the sex abuse investigation in St. Helens. Police there have arrested high school teacher Eric Stearns again on additional charges. Stearns has already been indicted on 8 counts of sexual abuse after being arrested in November. After reaching out to the public, detectives learned of 8 more victims. Thursday, Stearns was indicted for 11 more counts of sex abuse. Detectives are concerned there still may be more victims. If you have any information to share, call St. Helens detectives at 503-397-1521. We are learning more about the arrest of a man who Salem police say posed as a minor online to meet teenage girls and is now facing sex abuse charges. Catherine Cook spoke to police who say there could be other victims who they're hoping will come forward.
Take a look at these photos. Salem police say this is Jeremy Brahman. He's a 24-year-old man, but investigators say he's been posing as a minor online while luring teenage girls. Detectives with Salem PD's Special Victims Unit arrested Brahman New Year's Eve. He's facing multiple counts of second-degree sex abuse, third-degree rape, and third-degree sodomy. Investigators say he targeted his victims on social media.
We got to remember that these offenders are doing everything in their power to get close to kids, and that's how they do it.
Robert Rockhausen is a sergeant with the Washington County Sheriff's Office. He's not connected with the Salem case, but investigated child abuse for 10 years. He urges parents to have open lines of communication with their kids about online predators.
For a lot of parents, this is uncomfortable to talk about. But the Salem case today, if parents can sit down and talk to their kids about this and kind of let them know that these people are out there and these are real people. We're not talking about the boogeyman. We're not talking about some hypothetical thing. This is happening. This is happening in our community every day.
Salem police want to hear from anyone who had contact with Brahman. In this case, they say he was active on Snapchat and Instagram. When contacting minor girls, his usernames included Little J, J Brahman O, and Yaboy Lil J. Sergeant Rockhausen says, generally speaking, sex offenders cast a wide net to reach victims, often using multiple apps and platforms to find them. He urges parents to do what they can to monitor their kids' online activity, since it's likely always changing.
It's important, again, to be very vigilant and be on top of this stuff.
Catherine Cook, KGW News.
We have another phone number coming up. Anyone with information on this case is asked to call Salem Police at 503-540-2418. One person is without a home this morning after accidentally setting their house on fire while using a heat gun. Portland Fire and Rescue responded to the blaze in the Park Rose neighborhood just after 11 p.m. last night. The sole occupant of the house was able to escape safely. The Red Cross was called in to help and find shelter for the displaced resident. Thankfully, no injuries were reported during this incident. And Portland fire investigators are looking into what caused a fire early yesterday morning at an abandoned building in southeast Portland. Crews were called in just before 3 to the building that used to house the Venue Gentlemen's Club at Southeast 99th Avenue and Washington. They saw a heavy smoke coming from the building. It took about 20 minutes for crews to get the fire under control. No injuries were reported, and the cause is under investigation. Exactly 1 year ago, a door plug blew out of a Boeing 737 MAX at 16,000 feet. The plane had just departed Portland. The incident set the tone for Boeing's turbulent 2024, leading to a nationwide grounding of MAX aircraft and company-wide audits. After federal court hearings, worker strikes, and plane crashes, Boeing says it's looking to turn the page in 2025. In a news release, the company highlighted the progress it's making on safety and quality targets despite the challenges. Evan Watson takes a closer look at what Boeing has changed since that fateful Alaska Airlines flight.
Yes, we are emergency. We are depressurized.
1 year ago, a door plug blowout shocked the country. An Alaska Airlines flight forced to make an emergency landing back in Portland. A boy's shirt ripped off his body from the force. Other passengers said they were glad it wasn't worse.
There was thankfully no one seated near the window.
NTSB investigators pointed the blame at the plane's maker, Boeing. 4 bolts that should have held the door plug in place were missing.
Post-accident evidence showed that the retaining bolts were not installed.
Parts of the plane fell from the sky, landing in southwest Portland. The door itself crashing to a teacher's backyard.
This is the most exciting thing that's ever happened on the street. The trees acted like an airbag and made for a longer stop and a lower force.
In response, the FAA capped production of Boeing 737 MAX 9 planes to 38 per month. It audited the company, encouraging employee safety reports and promoting a whistleblowing program at Boeing. Now Boeing says it's on track with a new safety and quality improvement plan, highlighting 4 areas: investing in workforce training, simplifying plans and processes, eliminating defects, and elevating our safety and quality culture. The company publishing photos and examples of its changes. Still, Boeing faces several lawsuits from dozens of passengers injured or scarred from the in-flight emergency.
The negligence by Boeing is so clear-cut.
FAA Administrator Mike Whitaker responding to Boeing's safety plan by saying the company is making progress, but this is not a one-year project. What's needed is a fundamental cultural shift at Boeing that's oriented around safety and quality above profits.
And that was Evan Watson reporting. The NTSB's final report on the door plug blowout is still pending. Attorneys expect it to be released in the coming months.